tell a little bit about, how Speak to the Mountain came and a little bit, you can share what you want. I mean, I don't care, but about the boys and kind of what you guys went through a little bit and
Yeah.
your everyday struggle. Because there's a lot of parents that they might look at it and be like, well, why is Rachel what they can't, like I get it, you know what I mean? And there's sometimes Jahnna's like, well, man, she's got to do this and Nic's running the business and that's a full-time job. Just looking at your schedule at the house, I'm like, oh man, I thought my schedule was busy. So share a little bit about how Speak to the Mountain came about and a little about so they know what we're talking about, the backstory.
Yeah, so our youngest son, when this is during the height of COVID, we found out that he had autism. So in trying to process that and being confined to home, it was hard to process that. And alcohol was an outlet for us.
Mm-hmm.
And it really led to a place of just absolute destruction and brokenness, that God really just used to kind of birth this thing we call Speak to the Mountain podcast, amongst other things. I mean, just our relationship with who he is, with who we are, with who our kids are, just what we've stepped into. But I want to say for anybody at home, if you have a child, one of the main reasons why people get divorced is because money, financial.
Right.
The second highest is because of a sick family member or a child. And
not knowing how to deal with it, right?
Right. Yeah. And we were going through both of those things at the same time.
Yeah.
So if we can do that, I want to just give hope to the couples, the married people out there. Just hold firm to your marriage. God gave me a word, and it was to put yourself aside and put them in your place. That's called being selfless, right? And if you can make that sacrifice, that's where I believe God will start to mend your heart and your wife's heart. Or vice versa,
right? Your
heart and your husband's heart, right? And the other thing I want to give hope to is if you have a child that's sick or a family member that's sick, press in and grab the word that the Lord gives you, and let that be a seed that brings forth root of hope and prosperity and healing, because that's what the word of God can do. God is true and faithful to his word.
Come on.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add, we struggled for a very long time with alcohol.
Yeah.
And obviously it didn't start off, it was all fun and games until it wasn't anymore.
Right.
And it was really just trying to deal with Jace and, because we knew before we knew.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I really struggled with a lot of guilt. And alcohol was what I thought was the only way for me to not have to deal with that anymore.
Right.
And so, that just led us down a very destructive path. And, it come to a point where, things happen and we had to get it together. We didn't have a choice anymore.
Right.
We had to do what we had to do.
Right.
And in that time, God really, I was seeking the Lord the way that I had always done it before. And I guess I didn't think it was surface, but my understanding of God and who he was very incorrect, and from a lot of years of religion and being in church, and I just had a very skewed perspective on God, and thinking that, God did this to my son.
Right.
That's good, honey.
And so I was very confused, and, it's been about a year and a half now where I had just some life-changing revelation that God is good. And he really is good.
Yeah.
Amen.
God good, devil bad.
God
Yeah.
good, devil bad. Do not miss this copy written by Rachel Aylor.
Yeah.
I love that. It's
and
true.
so when that happened, and I realized, wait a minute, everything I've ever believed is not true.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everything I was taught.
I know.
It was like a
That's
veil
it.
got ripped off. Everything,
Everything
everything
I
I
was
was
taught.
taught.
That's it.
Because what happens is people in authority try to explain away your circumstances and try to make you feel better for
Yeah.
a thing,
Yes.
when in fact it's not even biblical.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and-
yeah, you're getting. I mean, I went back on everything. I've told her this that I was taught. I'm like,
What the heck?
I had a whole stigma on me that there's no way I could have lived like that.
Yeah.
right.
You know what I mean? Like if a and I'm just going to be 100% real. If a pastor would have came to me at a certain age in my life when I was struggling and go, hey, bro, I struggle with porn too, buddy. You're not the only person
Right.
who's
Yeah.
having these thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
It is. Now, God can work on you and you can do this. Instead, if you're looking at it, you're going, like, you know what I mean? Like you were taught that. So you're like, ah, man, what's
Fear
wrong with
and
me?
sin and
About
hell.
whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fear,
Sin and
alcohol,
hell.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the whole condemnation thing. You know?
Yes.
God
Yeah.
doesn't condemn us, you know.
Yeah.
He shows us that
Yeah.
hey, there's a better way. You
Mhm.
don't have to do this. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's a gentle God.
The goodness of
Yeah,
God.
that's
brings
right.
you
Goodness.
to
But so
repentance.
you everything that you had been taught, you're like, wait a minute, this ain't
Yeah.
how this works.
Yeah, and so at that
it comes
point,
religion too, even in us holy rollers. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
like, 5 people fall. If we don't do this, that becomes
Right.
religion, and we think
Yeah.
Catholic is religion and
Right.
non-denominational, and it's religious too. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the same.
It's a
the
lot of
people.
layers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and so at that point, I had those major just revelation of God's love for me and how He was there for me even during those very, very dark times.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, I'm shutting everything down.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm gonna find out the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, after a while of that and just shutting everything down and just seeking the Lord, that's kind of when
Yeah.
Speak to the Mountain
You started
came.
speaking to the mountain
Yeah.
before you were on the platform.
I
Yeah.
want to say because I want hope, right? Relentless hope, man.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
This year and a half, this 2 year been pressing in, we've seen the most amazing
Oh, this is
display
what I wanted you to talk
of change in our son.
I want you,
Yeah.
from nonverbal to verbal,
This is what I'm talking about.
from diapers to using the restroom and wiping his butt.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on, somebody.
No, yeah.
He can brush his teeth.
He
He
can
can
have a
put popcorn in
conversation.
the microwave.
Yeah.
He
He
can
can
make
play
food.
instruments.
Yes.
Yeah, he can
Play
man,
like
the
a
kid,
prodigy child.
the kid's 9 years old and can play Beethoven.
But that's the
Yeah.
transforming power of when you believe what the Word of God says and you believe Jesus.
And you stop accepting it too.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
now listen.
Boy,
now,
he
if
said it.
now,
Yeah.
you know, we speak to
That's
the mountain,
good.
and our words are very powerful. And you know, I say this too, and this any motivational speaker, and but it's true because Jesus was the first motivational speaker. Okay,
Yeah.
everybody you hear, they steal
Yeah.
it from him,
Yeah.
right? I don't
Yeah.
care what
Yeah.
they say.
Yeah.
But you know, if you sit around and go, oh, this is going to happen, I suck, I'm fat, I'm a loser.
Yeah.
I mean, you guess what you're going to be,
Yeah.
a fat loser. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
If you sit around and go, yeah, this situation is bad, but I know God's got a plan on the other side
Yeah.
of it, and how
Absolutely.
many people are going to
Yeah.
be touched.
Yeah.
See, I've took my situation like this. I used to be like, and still, man. I think I told you the other day, and Jahnna, just a couple weeks ago, I was going to quit all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, John, I was like, I'm done with this, man.
Imposter
I'm
Yeah.
driving
syndrome.
down there. We're doing this. I got these people taking shots at me. I thought these people love me, and I'm not on
Yeah.
there whining but I'm saying it was just like it's not like I got enough. Like I remember back
Yeah.
when I was in the street, like I had to be careful how I moved because either I ripped somebody off or I did this. You know what I mean? Like I'm like. I just go move pool tables and love my wife and raise my kids. What am I going to go down there? And then you'll get an email or you'll get somebody say something, bro, like
Right.
that, I need
Yeah.
that. Then you're like, okay, we're not doing it for us. You're sharing your
Right.
story. So
Yeah.
why I wanted you to share that is because you said that to me, not even realizing, saying, dude, in the last year,
Yeah.
Chase, I can't believe I sat down and had a conversation with him when he put on the headphones and the microphone and he's putting pop. Like that's the difference. You know, again, I said this on yours and I said on ours. Not every miracles are in motion. I'm a miracle in motion. You know how? I didn't get out and smack that dude in traffic like that.
Hey,
That's a miracle in motion. Because one
That
time I'd
is a
have kicked his
miracle.
door in, ran him off the thing, tried to follow him to his house, beat up his brother. I'd have done all kinds of crazy stuff.
that's a miracle.
All right, but I'm saying that to
Yeah.
say sometimes the miracles are in motion. Like,
Absolutely.
can Jesus heal him immediately and 100%? Yeah,
110%.
but that might not be the
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
He might be able to show kids who are born like him that this is the progress. And now look
Yeah.
at him; he's living on his own. And he's. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now we want to sometimes our miracles to be selfish, and I say that like, Lord, take this. And I'm not saying this, but just walk with me. Sometimes I used to pray like, Lord, take this away from me right now, Lord.
Yeah.
Why can't I just be this and this? But you know what? If God would have did that right then, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that He chose that path. He let me
Right. choose
choose it, but I'm saying, sometimes God won't part the Red Sea and everything, but He'll give us the tools and build a boat, and
Yeah.
you ride through the storm.
Yeah.
And what you're seeing now, people like us, you know why I don't take shots when they shoot at me? Because a lot of it, I don't blame them if they don't believe in me.
Right.
Because used to, if stuff got hard,
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, God, I've been serving
Yeah,
you for about
get me out
3
of this,
years now.
right?
Yeah.
I've been paying a lot of money to a lot of churches.
Yeah.
Mm.
So how long is this gonna go?
Right.
And a lot of times my breakthrough is on the other side of the mountain, bro.
Yeah.
I just needed to make it to the mountain.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I was like, here's the mountain, but screw this. I'll take my
Yeah.
backpack off, my little pickaxe thing, they climb out.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm
Yeah.
done. So what you guys did in this last year and a half, I'm not saying you didn't believe before, you started going, okay,
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
all this,
Yeah.
I'm believing this now. Now I'm speaking this, and we're gonna start walking in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it.
Can I?
too. Yeah.
Man, God gave me. God, when the change took place, when Rachel had the revelation that God gave her that He was going to turn autism down like the volume
Yeah.
on a radio,
That's what He's doing.
until it completely was muted out.
Yeah.
And
Try, baby.
I'm sitting here, and God shows me the knob is turning down. And what He told me was to tell you people at home, you guys, if you're struggling, if anything in your life is not what it's supposed to be, if you're going through something with a sick child, a sick husband, a sick wife, a sick family member in general, anything that you're struggling with like this, I want you to take that knob and vision that in your head. And God is His hand turning that knob down to where whatever chaos is going on in your life, He's going to mute it to nothing.
Yeah.
And I just believe that for you, and I'm declaring it for you right now in the name
Amen.
of Jesus.
Yeah, and
Sure.
I just want to add to that too, because one thing I had to learn is that faith isn't a moment in time.
Shoot.
That's good. Say that again for
Faith-
people in the back.
Yeah,
At
faith
the back
is
of the
not
trailer.
a
Over there by the swing set.
Faith is not a moment in time. It's a lifestyle that we live.
Yes.
And if we can grab onto that, it's kind of like, if you are sick and you pray for yourself and you're not healed immediately, well, I guess that's not God's
I'm
will
no
for
good.
my life.
Yeah, I'm no good.
But
My
faith,
faith ain't strong enough.
Yeah.
but
Start beating yourself up.
faith is a walk, and it's a fight of faith.
Yes.
The fight is to keep the faith.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so important, because one thing I learned always growing up is like, you lay hands on the sick and
Then you go on.
they get healed, but what it actually says is they recover.
Yeah.
It takes
True.
time for recovery.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and growing up, which I grew up my mom got saved at a young age in a Pentecostal church, and then I used to be playing like little Matchbox cars. They'd be in there having all night prayer meetings and people falling. I'm like, yep, she fell again.
There goes Brenda.
Somebody get her a blanket. Where's the blanket guy?
So what happened? And then I was through the era, the blanket, and then I was through the era of the prosperity and the Benny Hinn's
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
fake
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I'm sorry, you know what I mean? And then and all that. So what happens is we see what man does of it, and we forget who God really is.
Yeah.
And what he really does. He's in the healing
Yeah.
game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's in the restoration game, and he's in
Yeah.
the recovery game, and he's
Yeah.
in the a lot of people don't realize
Yeah.
when they say recovery, like we come from the Christian world, so we're like, we've been set free. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's true, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But we're still recovering because here's what happened, and I'm talking to myself, and some stuff, from trauma as a past, I'm just now recovering, dealing with it, and just now getting over behaviors. Right now, I would love to tell you that I prayed that prayer, and Jesus came in my life, but I still had to do some work. And so what you're saying is that's right. You get healed, but you're recovering. So you're going through the process. When you leave surgery, you got to change the bandage.
Right.
You got to
recover.
That's right.
And so I believe, and this is what I choose to believe, and nobody can tell me different, that he's going to be healed. And but not only is he going to be healed completely, he's going to be someone that
he is
helps other people. Like, see, like John will tell you, maybe it's because I was a drug addict. Maybe it's because, I got hit in the head and stomped in the head. My brain doesn't shut off. Like I'm thinking like we could do this and then we should go do this and she's like, what we gonna do this with? The petty cash fund that floated down in? I'm just kidding. No, what are we gonna do with? I'm talking to a guy. I was like, yeah, we're going. we're looking to buy these condos for a treatment center. And she's like,
well, what?
Wait a minute.
She's like, wait, we don't even own this. I'm like, yeah. I said, get out petty cash fund. Like 50, 60, 51.
We got enough for lunch.
I was like, where's that?
Let's go talk about it.
No, but I'm saying that when I talk, I think a lot of things don't happen, because we don't believe it and we don't speak it. Like I can see stuff. Like I could see him running a school when he's 25 years old, where there's kids his age and he's teaching them music and saying, yeah, buddy. At one time, my parents told me, that I was, couldn't do this and couldn't do that. And man, that's the kind of stuff I see, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's awesome,
I see Jackson, my son Jackson, running a marriage place. Like, my dad was married X amount of times and he didn't get it to the end, but this is the legacy. See, that's the kind of the stuff I see. And I've been called a dreamer my whole life. They're like, well, you live in a fantasy world. I'm like, yeah, well, you know what I mean? I used to think I was Bo Duke. I was trying to jump cars, can't slide across the hood real good. Tried to. But and so that's the stuff that I see when I look at kids. When I look at my kids, I see like, man, they can do this. Like, this can happen. And maybe nobody believed that for me. You know what I mean? My mom believed, I'm sure she believed I hung the moon. Like, well, there's Jesus, then there's little Dave. You know what I mean? And my sister knows what I'm talking about. But
shout out to Heather.
But we don't believe this stuff. But I believe that God is going to. I mean, I've seen just since we've all been back in each other's life. Each time I see him, I'm like, when do you start doing that? Like he don't seem. Yeah. By golly, he knew he wanted them French fries right there, and he knew that. He's looking at the dude like, "Hey, Bob,
yeah,
this don't look like a full order."
What about when he took the video?
He died,
he took the video.
He looked down, looked up like.
No, but the dude set his fries down. He was like. I was like, I see what he's doing. He recognized, hey, this ain't right.
This ain't right. Yeah.
But if you go back to 6 months ago, he went. First time we came over for dinner. Or whatever, how long ago it was, a year ago, whatever. He wasn't that advanced. Then, so that shows you that it's happening, and it's not happening because God will give you the shovel. Sometimes you got to dig the hole. Okay, Nick is a good provider. He works. He's trying to put his business on the next level. I give him a hard time a lot, but I'm giving you a hard time. I love John Huffman and what he does. I always joke. I always give Nick like, call me back, get off. You better hang up on that coach call and call me. I always like,
get off the coach call.
I'm like, get off the coach call.
What you doing, buddy? You want a coach call?
I like messing with him, but no, and he's trying to do that to build a better life for your family and freedom, and so you're more present and all that, as we all are. I am too, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm glad I got Chris, and my son-in-law is an employee now, because it frees me up to do these jobs that I can do what God's called me to do, and be here and spread hope.
Yeah.
But
that's awesome, man.
So, kudos to you for where you built Flex to. Flex Mobile,
Thank
you.
you.
My guy, he's the best detailer in
is the man.
Southwest Florida.
Thanks, guys.
The links in it. You'll see me wearing a Flex Mobile hat. I wear his hats a lot of times when I do my own. But it's if I like a hat and he's my boy, why wouldn't I wear it, right?
Amen.
You know what I mean? Not everybody's like that. You know what I mean? I'm
No.
like, why wouldn't I wear my boy's?
Speaking of
my boy.
hats, I need that one.
Yeah, well, it
I
is.
need that hat.
To make
Oh,
marriage great again.
What about this Make Marriage Great Again? Relentless Hope
I
and
love
Doors.
that hat, man.
People been stopping me too with this. They're like,
I love that hat.
we wore our shirts. I
And
was
the
telling you,
shirt.
we wore our shirts. She had one different one on. I had one, and the lady goes, "I love that shirt. Oh my gosh, I love that shirt." What? I'm like, yeah, you can get it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but what I was getting to is I know that you're, working, doing that, but kudos to you too, Rach. Because see, a lot of
Yes.
people might think this. I mean, of course, we like Jahnna. Nobody cares about people more than my wife. Nobody does. Like she's like, oh my, I beat on the table, Tim. Diana, I'm sorry. Diana,
not the first time.
Diana puts duct tape on everything when I'm here, and Nick's here too. He's just as bad as
You
I
got
am.
them Velcro sticky
Yeah,
things.
Diana's like, shut up over there. I don't have to do it. No, but nobody checks on people more than Jahnna does, and she's always like, oh, she knows the schedule. She's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's Blue McDonald's Day and Target, and she's got to go. She goes, man, that's a lot of just driving. She has to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then she can't, and then she's like, well, if they got to go, like she's
Yeah.
she's really thinking about that. Some people might look at it like, well, what's she doing really? Nick's
Right.
working. Is she driving around the kid and then going? Like people don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes
She's
you want to.
editing.
It makes you want to strap them in for a day and go,
Right.
hey,
Oh, yeah.
hang on, buddy,
Come on.
and
Let me show you
and
what
I'm
I'm doing.
taking you when it ain't the good day too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so God gave you the shovel,
Yep.
and you guys started digging.
Yeah.
And you started digging spiritually and physically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? Because sometimes we're going up the way we did. You just
Yeah.
pray about it, Lord, hold it. And if,
Right.
and if it didn't
Yeah.
happen, David, you don't believe. You must be in sin. I'm
Right.
like,
Faith without works is
Yeah.
dead.
right? And
Yeah.
so he gave you the shovel. You started
Yeah.
walking it out spiritually,
Mm.
praying, believing, sharing. See, a lot
Yes.
of people don't realize like our faith grows. Being an influencer keeps you on top of your game. You know why? And I hate the word influencer, but that's what
Yeah.
Jackson keeps saying. But in doing this, it keeps me on top of stuff like, dang, am I treating my wife right?
Yeah.
Am I? Man, how did I talk to her? Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
I was a rascal the last
Yeah.
couple of days, bro. I was very irritated. I was a nice person. You know what I mean? I was slick with my words. But what it does is then I go, man, how are we saying this? If we am I? You know what I mean? Am I
Yeah.
doing it right? But so what that does is you gotta once you start doing the
Yeah.
action, now you're digging, but you also are putting in as a parent.
Yeah.
You could just say, well, we just stay here. I take him. This lady comes and sees him on Wednesdays, and then he does this and go because it's just too much to drive to keep going. Then I got
Right.
So you're digging physically and spiritually,
Yeah.
and that's the progress is proof
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
And
God's real.
the Lord gave me a word on that too. And it was like, man, for so many years, we just made room for autism,
Right.
and we started believing God for this healing. And now we're making room for the opposite of that.
Right.
We're making room for a normal, healthy
Right.
9-year-old little boy.
Right.
Yeah.
And that looks nothing like what we've been living. So it's been an adjustment, but
Yeah.
but whenever God shows you that and speaks that to you, whether it's a sickness or, for your marriage or whatever the case may be, man, what can you do to make room for that thing that you're believing God for?
Oh, come on.
Oh, that's good.
know?
That's
That's,
yeah.
that's facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's facts. I know.
What do you think, babe? Like thinking of Rachel, and a lot. Like she puts in some work, don't she?
Absolutely.
I mean,
and
you were
and
saying this to me
two,
the other day.
Yeah, I think it's for men it's so different because women we have to handle all the aspects of everybody's personality, right? We have to be
Right.
there for the husband, the children. We got to listen to the stories when they come home. Here, let me sit and you can play the guitar for 5 songs so
Yeah.
you can show me what
Yeah.
you're doing. Here, let me see your little knitting that you're doing over here, crochet boy. Let me see.
He said, "Wah, wah, wah," but-
Let me see your case.
No.
No.
The wah wah wah.
Maybe God's trying to tell you something.
Try another one.
Like, where do I walk?
One more.
I think she's trying to tell y'all something. She's trying to tell you.
Jesus.
But so
Jesus.
it's a lot, and keeping the home, keeping the laundry, keeping the house clean, feeding the dogs. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a lot. So I think, man, you deserve a lot of flowers, Rachel, and so does Nic.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not an easy job.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes men they're like, well, what'd you do today?
Right.
Well,
What's for dinner?
You know, man, what you're saying, what you're saying though.
Well, Nick's always getting the food. I know that.
Recently,
she's
yeah.
always cooking it.
Yes.
Yeah, but
You're always cooking too.
You're saying
I want one of
something.
them sandwiches you made that one.
Man,
I eat one of
I
them
told you.
right
We're
now.
Keto bread.
I was making the sandwich. He's like, nah, I don't want that. We're going to lunch. And I was like, okay, you gonna want this. And I set it out in front of him. And he was like,
yeah, that's all he talked about.
let me get another one, man.
We're like, where are our sandwiches?
Yeah, I was like, excuse me, I was hungry.
But anyway, what you're saying?
Yeah, well, you were saying that, and I'm like, man, how many times do stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home mothers, when they're asked what they do, how many times do they hold their head down and say it like they're ashamed of it?
My God.
Like they don't do enough.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you need a
Man.
cake.
Mom
okay?
guilt is
You're
real.
a trad mom.
Yo, if you're a stay-at-home mother, hold your
Shout
head up
out
high.
for
You are
real.
a trad mom.
Dr. Phil.
It's a traditional mother.
No,
I guess
real
that's
talk.
a thing. I
Real
guess that's
talk.
a thing.
Yeah, it's gotta be a thing.
Real talk.
They dress like in
wear a
dresses
cape.
and
Yo, they wear a cape.
No.
Big facts.
no,
Yeah.
stay-at-home moms, any moms. I mean,
That's a hard job.
Jahnna's a mom that moves pool tables and then goes home and the kids are like, I mean, Jackson's getting really good on his guitar and he's like, Mom. And he's down there singing to her, man. You know,
Read me a poem.
he's reading. He's cool, man. He's into poetry. And then Elijah's like, Mom, did you see what I knit? And he's been knitting scarves and
Making baby blankets.
Baby blankets. I mean, I was like, hey, maybe we should start selling this. And then
Hey,
The link's in the description.
Yeah.
He's making little squishy dolls.
He came home with a list of people that wanted him to
And
make
some money.
stuff.
So
And some money.
that's
I
an
was like, hey, that's
entrepreneur, my guy.
entrepreneur, man. And then Nene, you know, she's speeding down the road,
working,
and
But
doing
she's got
things.
stories for me when she comes
and then,
home
but
too,
Nene
so.
will come home, and you know me, bro. You know I'm out at a certain time, and Nene's got to come in and tell the day, and yeah, Peepaw's out, but
He's like, I'm tired. Why are you guys talking right now?
I'm laughing. I'm jokes till 8:30. That's my time the comedy club closes. Any argument John and I get into after 8 or 9, it's my fault.
I'm sorry, honey.
100%
I gotta go to bed.
I'm tired. Well, it
I-
gets up at 3, so
you
yeah.
know, so but yeah, it's weird. I went from 4 to 3 now. I don't know what's going on, man. But it gives me time to think and reflect and pray and ask God to forgive me for the day before. See, I'm just real. Everybody
No,
but
that's why
no,
people love
in
you.
all reality, guys, we're gonna wrap up here. Speak to the Mountain podcast, links below, Flex Mobile, links below, their socials, links below, their website. Pray for the people, and I'm serious. And I know Nic, he took it to heart because when he sent me, I go, bro, I'd buy that if I didn't know you.
Yeah,
And
it's dope.
I'm not telling you because you're my boy.
Yeah.
Like if I seen it, I'm like, that's a dope shirt. And then you know how many times I've had that hat on, and a guy goes, well, your hat says it all. Because I'm like, yeah, these idiots. And I'm talking to this guy, this customer, really nice guy. He goes, I go, man, it's like, man, you just want to help him. He goes, well, your hat says it all. And I'm like,
He's like, which
I'm
one
like,
I got on?
I didn't know.
Which hat
I
is
was
it?
like, oh yeah, pray
Flex
for. He
Mobile
goes,
detail?
pray for the people. I'm like, yeah. And then I was at a like Wawa or something. The guy goes, we got to do it, don't we, man? And I'm like,
What?
did he follow me to the bathroom? I was like, we're on our way back from Alabama, and the clean cause
Oh God.
gives 50% of every net profit to drug recovery. I didn't drink one because I drank one this morning on the way down.
Yes.
Might as well pay some bills. Got this Flyfit tee underneath this jersey. Johnna's got it. Look at them guns. You know how many women come up to Jahnna and compliment her arms? A lot of. You know how many
Believe
men
it.
come up to me? None.
No.
He's such a liar.
No, but at the gym they go, "You look like a power lifter." I'm like, "But I'm hungry." But come up and say, "But because she's got a Flyfit T-shirt on, best fit there is." Them Nevin eyewears, Bob's rocking them.
Mom.
So go on there and buy some stuff. Cash at me. That's for my nephew, Matthew. I love you, Matthew.
Coming for you.
I seen that post you made, little fella.
I'll be there this summer.
I'm going to be
We
there
can talk about
summer.
it.
Uncle Dave's going to talk to you. He said, this is what my nephew said. I'm going to call you out, buddy. You need some help.
You
I
need
love
some
you.
Jesus.
I've been babysitting you since you're 8 years old. And I don't care if you're 40-something. I'm going to smack you when I see you. Listen, and I'm praying for you because I really do love you. I'm praying for you.
Yes.
I hope Jesus gets a hold of you before I
Pray
do.
for the nephew.
I hope Jesus gets a hold of you before I do, boy. No, I'm just kidding. I love the kid, but yeah. He's like, yeah, I got an ideal for an energy drink. How about greedy mother blinker? Don't nobody care about your marriage, blah, 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 blah. So obviously, according to my nephew, Matt, I'm making a killing off of these.
No, guys.
But actually, I owe him $62. But anyway, just so you know, Matt, get a hold of my accountant. He'll tell you. I owe $62.
$62.
Because I just had him send me some more. So after what I made and took out, I owed $62.
Oh my God.
Oh, but I want to say too, because last time we came on here, we were talking about taking Bree and Michael to detox.
Oh, yes.
Right. So they both went into the Dream Center.
Yes, New Life Dream Center.
Wow, you guys talk about an answer to prayer.
Thank you, Pastor Gasper and Michelle and the whole program.
That's awesome.
Yes, our next podcast that'll be released, we'll talk about it, and we're in pretty much rare form because it was on top of the relapse, on top of Bree going into detox and calling, and I was very irritated and mad and angry and hurt and sad and worried. And John and I spent 2 weeks ago now, Saturday, we went and picked them up. They got out. They didn't have no clothes. They were just broken, man. Just broken, and it makes me sad. And, you know, I did everything I said I wasn't going to do. I said, I'm not going to pick them up. They ain't coming to my house. And, you know, and that makes me God in the situation. You do what God tells you to do. Yeah, you have what you're going to go by. And so we went and picked them up. Go ahead, babe, and tell them.
Yeah, and they were just broken, and it was super hard to see, you know, when you're looking at your child and then watching them go down that same road that you went down, you know, but but we just sat there and talked to them, and they
laughed, and laughed, and just made them
for
feel
hours like people, you know, because we still love you because we know.
And I gave it to them now. You know me, you guys know me. I wasn't biting my. I gave it to Bree.
Broke them off.
I gave it to Bree, and she took it, and she's like, "You're right, though." And Mike, I said, "Mike, I love you, man, but right now I got to play dad. So if you're not going to treatment, where you need me to drop you off at? Because I'm worried about her, but I'm worried about you too. But if she wants to go,
if you want to go, we'll do whatever we can.
So we brought them back to the house. We called Pastor Gasper and Michelle, you know, New Life Dream Center, Word of Life, who, you know, you hear us say, Pastor Michelle and Gasper. Without them, John and I still wouldn't be married, you know, single-handedly. They took us under their wing in our worst time, and you know, here we are now. Pastor Michelle is the person who told us 10 years ago, 11 years ago, you guys are going to have a marriage ministry. I'm like, and we hate each other. and you know, and who would have thought, right? But she's seen it. She's seen something in us. She knew that, you know, that we loved each other and that God had a plan.
That's
but
awesome.
And Pastor Gasper too, he's always been there for me. He answers me, you know. And he's always, so they went into the New Life Dream Center 2 weeks ago, Sunday.
Yeah. And it was funny because they had made the phone call that night before, you know, they were going to go. And then in the morning, of course, here comes the excuses. Well, we need one more day because we need to call these people and this people. And I go, I'm going to go get a shower. Okay.
I was over it.
Yeah, he was angry. So I got in the shower and I'm like, all right, Jesus, I need your help right now.
Yeah.
Like, how do I need to approach this? So I went back out there. I put on some clothes first, and then we went back out there.
What are you chewing over there, Nene?
My gum.
Nene at the singing thing.
So I went out there and I was like, okay, this is what's going to happen. Okay, we're not gonna drag this out another day. You guys have the opportunity. Get dressed. We're going. And they both go, okay. Took it super well.
Yeah.
Got ready, and we went
to church. Awesome service, and they went in. So they're doing good. We've talked to Pastor Gasper. I talked to Pastor Gasper. John talked to Pastor Michelle. They're both growing, and Pastor Gasper said, "I think you'll be proud of your future son-in-law." He said. So so man, you know, I was like, here, you know, man, you talked to me. I was over it. I was like, here we go again, and got to go buy clothes, and they don't know where their stuff is, but. You know, this might be the time. Let's hope that this is the last time they get a hold of Jesus. because, you know, I learned over the years, it wasn't the cocaine, it wasn't the alcohol, wasn't sex. It was the internal issue that I was using to try to take care of. So
that's good.
The good thing about the New Life Dream Center, they have Stop Hurting, Start Healing, which gets down to the root of the problem and work outward. So I believe it's a year-long program. I believe that we're going to be here a year from now talking about they're married, working in the ministry. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Adriana and Max went to church with us Sunday. You know, Max is just, man, that kid's I'm getting close to him quick, bro. Like he's a good kid. We got to go up to see Ashley and Jared and the baby. I got to see my little granddaughter, Eva. Oh man, it was crazy to have a picture of me at 17, 18 years old holding Ashley.
Oh yeah, I saw
and
that.
Then a picture of me holding, you know, Ashley's daughter. And then of course my grandson Kellen, never a dull moment with that guy. He's the Peepaw's champ. So,
but it's so surreal in that too, because you go back and look at, you know, our lives a while ago and how everybody's broken and not talking, and you know, God's really, he's really done a work.
Well, and then of course, you know, Ethan and Teresa in New York. Ethan's like the little caretaker, man. He's probably the softest, hardest kid. Another gentle giant, you know, but you know, he's buying his first house and he's working, and he's always like, well, the numbers are going up, though, but you're doing it, man. And, you know, like sometimes I'm like, yeah, I feel like quitting, you know, and he's like, man, but you and mom are doing good and we're proud of you, man. You know, he's like trying to keep, so it's cool to see our whole family, you know, if you want to say blended, but everybody's
rally.
You know, I mean, you can't tell Adriana and Nevaeh and Jackson and Elijah, they grew up in the same house. So they're really close. You know what I mean? Like, Nevaeh's like, I got my sister back. You know what I mean? So God's doing a healing, but with all that being said, it started coming after we started digging with the shovel. See, for a while, we're like, well, this is what our family is. We're dysfunctional. It's what happens. You know, they're going to do this. Well, but really, it starts with me.
Right.
It don't start with Big Dave. It don't start with my granddaddy Arlen. It starts with me. Okay. And then, because I'm the head of this household, right? I'm the spiritual leader. So, you know, I'm like, okay, I messed this up. But from here forward, we're gonna go, and they're gonna see nothing gets your kids ready for life more than a stronger marriage underneath God. There is nothing you won't convince me. Kids, when they see a healthy marriage that God is the head of, it trains them for every avenue in life. Because nothing than a godly marriage, and obviously a relationship with God, shows how God loves somebody when you become one, right? And if you're out there, and I think a lot of people sometimes, you know, our ministry's marriage based, so they look and think, well, what if you're single? You know, there are some people that can stay single, and that's awesome if they can, and God's got a call for you. But if you're out there and maybe been divorced, or maybe you've been waiting for that one, God has somebody for you. And you just hold on and don't settle for Boaz or Brogaz. Boaz. I'm just kidding.
I love that.
No, but you know, start talking to God. He's giving you the shovel. Start digging. Start speaking out what you want. You know what I mean? And so anyway, with that being said, thank you for coming here and joining us at the trailer park.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You know, they got trailer parks in Louisiana, buddy.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, buddy. You ever live in a trailer park?
Yeah, actually.
I knew you did. I knew you did.
Brothers.
You can't fool me now.
Hey.
This has been one of my favorite podcasts so far.
Yeah, it's been.
I was super pumped about this.
Yeah,
I knew
we were ready. And we could go on forever and hours and talk. But what I want to tell you guys is, it's not because we think we're better than anybody else. It's because if we can do it, anybody can. Right. You're looking at a guy that's been counted out, who's called it count. It's not because we're better than anybody else. It's because if we can do it, anybody can. You're looking at a guy that's been counted out. I've counted myself out, but the person who didn't count me out was Jesus. So remember, it all starts with a little bit of hope. You got to be relentless with it. And so Speak to the Mountain, Flex Mobile, both of their socials. What is it? SpeakToTheMountain.net. .net for their gear. They got some awesome gear.
Yeah, they do.
But God, pray for the people, other stuff. They got it legit on there. They're more legit than us, actually, when it comes to that.
Nah.
I keep talking about I'm gonna get mine down. I don't get. I was like, where can I buy that? I'm like, buddy, meet me at 12 behind
Circle K. Maybe around the corner.
Meet me at Circle K by 12. I'm gonna have 3 of them. How many you want? Nah, I just kidding. Make marriage great again. You know how we roll. And that's it.
Man.
All right. We're out of here. Bye-bye. I'm going to do one commercial right here real quick, guys.
We're out of here. Bye-bye.
All right, here we go. Hey, what's up out there, you guys? This is David Cravens from the Relentless Hope Podcast. You've got to check my boy out, Eric. What's his name? Daggone it.
Hold, please.
Kennedy?
Yeah, Eric Kennedy.
Should have done cricket.
You're right, baby. Eric Kennedy. I got to get his book name right.
There it is.
I'm sorry, Diana.
Dirty Diana. I always got to do that. I don't know why.
Recovery vow. Marriage after addiction. Marriage after addiction.
Alrighty, take 2.
Hey, what's up out there, everybody? David Cravens from the Relentless Hope Podcast. You guys got to take a second and go check out my boy Eric Kennedy from the Recovery Vow Podcast. His book, Marriage After Addiction. You don't want to miss this. He's just an awesome guy. We've had a chance to be around him through the XO Marriage. We're getting a chance to be on his podcast. But go on this link below, Amazon, get the book, go subscribe and like his page. Don't sleep on the Recovery Vow Podcast. Relentless Hope approved. That's good.
One take wonder, baby.
That's good.
Let's go.
Is that all you got